Facebook has been under fire for anti-Israel bias, and most recently the social media network issued a public apology for a controversial incident. The internet platform took down a pro-Israel post saying it's called Israel, not Palestine, yet kept up a pro-Palestinian post saying it's called Palestine, not Israel. Rabbi Lipman is a former member of the Knesset, and he brought public attention to the disparity. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
So to begin, how did you get involved in this issue? What's the story behind this?
So there's this Facebook page called Israel Video Network, and they put up their post. It's called Israel and not Palestine. And Facebook notified them that it goes against their community standards, and they removed the post and also told them they must go through all of their posts to double check to make sure there's nothing else which violates the standards, and if there are, they will take the page away completely. So they turned to me. I work now in the realm of public diplomacy for the World Zionist Organization, and certainly try to help people as a member of Knesset to see if there's anything that I could do. And I thought about it, and I said, let's do a little bit of a test. And we put up a fictitious page called, it's called Palestine and not Israel, and we uploaded an exact replica of the post that they put up, but just switched the words Palestine and Israel. So now it read, it's called Palestine and not Israel. And then we had people complain to Facebook, and we quickly got a message back saying this post does not violate our community standards. So I'm looking at this and I say, wait a minute, how can it's called Israel violate the community standards, but it's called Palestine not? I tried to reach out to Facebook via email and telephone. I couldn't reach any person, so I chose to write a open letter to Facebook in the Jerusalem Post. It went viral all over the social network, and Facebook got in touch, and they actually sent a letter apologizing to Israel Video Network, and they put the post back up. And so at the very least, there's not going to be that kind of a double standard.
Was this what you expected to happen?
No, I did not think. I put it out there, and I wanted to try to bring attention to it. I didn't realize how far it would go. I didn't realize the story would be picked up by the Washington Post. It would go that far where Facebook would have this kind of pressure. And it taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson in terms of speaking up, and in the world that we live in today, especially with the social network and social media, you have no idea where it can end up going.
Absolutely. I mean, did you expect Facebook to do this, though? I mean, do you feel that Facebook has a double standard when it comes to Israel and Palestine?
There's no doubt that there's a lot on Facebook which is anti-Israel, and I'm less concerned about anti-Israel and more concerned about incitement to terror. And I have to believe that Facebook also would. And the various ministers in the government are working now with Facebook to try to reduce the degree of incitement that's out there, and I have to imagine that Facebook would want to. However, this incident for me was pretty glaring to see that a pro-Israel post would be against the community standards, whereas a pro-Palestinian post would not. And I don't necessarily agree with anybody putting up posts about this issue. I don't think that we have to be making those declarations, but there has to be a similar standard, and Israel cannot be held to a standard different than anybody who's pro-Palestinian.
So, you spoke about this before. When this originally happened, you wrote to Facebook, nobody responded, you had to write this letter and post it, in international media. Now, what is the solution to combating anti-Israel bias on Facebook? What do you recommend other people to do if they witness something like this?
So the first thing is we have to speak out. Sometimes there's an attitude on the Israeli side of they're all against us, there's no hope, and therefore we just kind of fold our arms and we don't do anything. We have to constantly be complaining, constantly bringing attention to the issue, and I think that the more we do that, the more Facebook will be sensitive to this issue. The fact that this reached international proportions, they're going to be more sensitive to these issues, and even if they're computerized algorithms, they'll make sure that they're not going to come out anti-Israel. That's the first thing. On a government level, we have to be reaching out, for sure, to Facebook. But there's one other thing which I've been working on, and many others as well, and that is free speech is important, and it's a value we all believe in, but it has to have its limits. We know that, for example, in the area of child pornography, it took a while for the governmental officials to realize free speech, but not when it's going to start hurting children and lead to violence and even worse results. It has to happen here when it comes to anti-Semitism and incitement towards terror and violence. And I hope that all of the internet companies, and especially Facebook, will actually be regulated by federal law in the United States, which will say free speech, but until a certain point, and then it has to stop. That's what we in Israel have to do on a governmental level to attack this issue.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It was very interesting to hear this story.
My pleasure. Thank you.